ends the streak of 11 unbeaten,
Yeah,
7 in MLS. So it had to end sometime.
So we come home to face the Rapids. We have no toy.
No toy.
So Dinladi's going to play into this game at some point. There's a lot of people in the stands.
Boy, does he play into this game.
There's a lot of people in the stands wearing medical masks because of the plague, which is Colorado.
They might have been overreacting.
I have to.
Now they're doing
complain.
it tongue in cheek to be funny, I'm sure.
Anyone that knows anything about the plague, a face mask isn't going to help you.
No.
Fortunately for us, we don't need to know a lot about the plague because it hasn't been an issue here in this stage.
I lived in Colorado for a while. I was around prairie dogs a lot. Prairie dogs pretty much all carry plague. And you're not going to get it in any way. The face mask is going to protect you. So
I just think it's funny. People
I'm just going to be
funny.
I'm going to be the Debbie Downer and be like, the humor doesn't make any sense.
I thought I read that if, like, say I had the plague, I don't. If I did and I started coughing, I think there is a possibility.
Well, I mean, there is a possibility. I mean, if it like flew into Tony's mouth.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, and even then, it's such a little
hence
amount.
The face mask. So they're just better safe than sorry.
So we go into this match knowing that we need a victory. I mean, we need 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we've dropped points at Dallas.
Yep.
The West is... My God, it's like every team is a point from the next
and it
team.
still is.
And every week it's up and down, up and down, up and down. It's crazy.
Yeah, you needed points. Yeah. Without a doubt, a poor team like Colorado, you gotta get 3 points. There's no excuse. I mean, I was at the point where if we didn't get 3 points out of that game, I was going to start tempting to be like Heath out.
And then
it's just not a point.
And then without even looking at the standings, it's important because Coach PJ Fleck and the entire Gopher football team were on hand to watch the match, and the Gopher women's soccer team were there to watch the match. So, I mean, a lot of pressure now on Minnesota to perform well. So,
and, I don't have a lot of notes. I'm starting to wonder. I must have been drinking that game, too.
Yeah, I think I was.
Because I also stayed home from that game.
Yeah,
I decided not to go.
So we weren't sure, but Angelo Rodriguez did start that match. So of course, coming off the Dallas game, there was another 8 adjustments in this one. And you figured they would be. They're going to a much stronger squad. Angelo Rodriguez did indeed start the game. As opposed to Dinladi. I thought there was some good early play with Darwin and Angelo.
I have a note in here. Darwin can go tomorrow.
See, I don't agree with you necessarily. In fact, I might just say where would Minnesota be without Darwin Quintero? This year.
I'm going to say it again. Even after last night, I would not be sad if Darwin left at the end of the season. It's just not.
Well, with our new signing.
Yeah, but you don't know.
Well, and I don't even know.
You don't
know with him.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like. He's so streaky.
Well, so as one of the 3 designated players, I'd like to see at least a plan in place to replace him then with another designated player. I don't want to see that spending go down. I don't want to use maybe his inconsistent play as an excuse for Minnesota to say, we're going to drop his salary, we're going to drop a DP and have a weekend roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. If they would pick up his option, I would like to see them pay it down and get a new DP.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm okay with them declining the option. I just don't. I mean, that PK was complete shit.
It was.
He didn't even look like he tried.
He didn't.
It was just kind of like.
But what did he?
Whatever.
But what did he do? He made up for it.
He did make up for it.
Yes.
He did score. He was nearly offside. It was 39th minute, so it was 0-0 for a while. But he scored. He was very nearly offside.
Yes.
But they looked at it with VAR. He was on.
Yes.
And it was Kevin Molino who ended up having a tremendous game in this one. But it was just a perfectly timed ball into Darwin,
And that's why I'd be okay with Darwin going, because I think the more minutes Kevin gets, the more he's starting to look like the player that Adrian always thought he was in Orlando, and it's the reason why Adrian wanted him here in Minnesota.
Yes.
And I think they're very similar players. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Darwin, when he's on, he's way better than Kevin.
He's got the skills, man.
But
He's talented.
Yes, for sure.
But I think overall, as Kevin gets minutes, that's a big thing for us. I just think it's going to make him better.
And I definitely want to get back to Molino, but I kind of skipped over something pretty important. I mentioned the goal thanks to Molino, his assist on Darwin's goal, but just 3 minutes prior to that, Chase Gasper actually got called.
Yes.
He was fouled in the box, which led to a Minnesota PK, which then Darwin ended up missing. And that's why we were talking about his play early, and then he missed that PK, and it was. I'll give a little credit to the goalie, but he did not put any pace on that ball, and it wasn't wide enough.
Yeah, and it's Irwin. Irwin's one of the worst goalies ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Irwin is the guy that he hat-trick chipped him.
Yeah, that's when he chipped him.
The guy has no discipline whatsoever as a goalie. And how you can not get a PK past him is disturbing.
He was with Toronto? Because it was Toronto that year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have we have to talk about Dunladi in this game.
Yes.
Because he had a header he missed. I don't know how he missed that.
He knocks it into the ground and then off the crossbar.
Yeah, he bounces it off the ground. I don't understand that. And I think he had another opportunity.
Short range.
Where he missed it again.
Yep.
So if you're thinking about Toy and Dunladi having a little competition,
right?
Well, even with Toy having the red card and being out for the next 2 games, I think Dunladi dropped a little bit during that game. I think that Keith has got to say, he's just not putting it in. He can't do it.
And I don't think you would have seen it. I wouldn't have seen it.
No.
Had Toy not had his
you
red
wouldn't
card.
have.
Was it Dunladi and for Angelo Rodriguez?
Yes.
But Rodriguez had some missed chances in that game too.
He did.
I mean, I almost think that.
Yeah, he had a missed header.
Yeah, a missed header. I think if you're looking to blame somebody that maybe should have stepped up and done better, I think it was Angelo Rodriguez. Missed a couple, including that header. That Dunladi, I almost look at that and say, man, was that unlucky?
Yeah.
Could he have put it in a better spot? Of course he could.
Again, it was unlucky, but it's what Dunladi is. I mean, he just can't get it in.
So let's talk the guy that we haven't really talked about too much. Lou.
Yes.
Okay.
Robin.
I am 100% unimpressed with this guy.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we have all agreed last year we couldn't make too many opinions about Angelo Rodriguez coming in mid-season.
That's right.
Because you got to have that time to kind of get in. I've made that argument, supported with the fact that Darwin, made an instant impact in the first 2 games.
Yes, he did.
And then disappeared for about 8.
Yes.
9 games, and then came back. It's very common in those attacking roles. You're going to have these situations where you got to get interested and get involved and understand your teammates.
Yeah.
But so far, I am not impressed with him. I mean, he's just been kind of...
They're different players, but I mean...
Same for everybody?
Did I get the Dublin? Dortmunder, sorry.
Dortmunder,
Yeah, brewer's choice, man.
All right.
Yeah, likewise. I'll try something different.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But, I will say this. They play different positions, but, I mean, some of the off-season acquisitions, aside from the Super Draft, the guys like Opara and Ozzy Alonso, I think they came in and made immediate impacts.
Right, of course.
Immediate. But one guy I look at who's one of my favorite players on the pitch right now for Minnesota is Jan Gregus. And I don't think he made an immediate impact. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be, but from the eye test, I didn't think he made an immediate impact, but boy has he ever.
Yeah, he's grown into his role.
But why?
So maybe it's just one of those things where Lud needs a little bit more time to start feeling out this team in game situations, because he hasn't been bad, Lud.
No.
Right.
He's
just not been anything good.
Yeah.
But that Ozzy and Ike coming in, they were MLS players already.
Right.
They knew the MLS. They come into these things and we know what's going on.
And that's very true.
And guys like Lud who come in, they come in from out of the country. They're not used to MLS yet. So, again, I'm going to wait for a little bit on Lud. I'm not going to give shit to him. Just like with Angelo, I'm not going to say yay or nay yet.
I just think the big issue that I have with him right now is we're using him and we're in a point where we're having to depend on him.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know that we ever have to depend on a striker who's a hold-up guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never expected to actually score goals all the time that he touches the ball.
Yeah.
So it's easy for him to. Thank you.
Minnesota Pills.
It's easy for him to have to, or to be able to kind of grow into his role.
Yeah.
Here we have a player who's coming in. There are multiple players who can play his position.
Yes.
And he's basically having to stake his claim at the starting guy.
Yep.
And for me, I just think he needs to make somewhat of an impact.
Yeah.
Or at least show he's going to. And I don't see it. I just
And
don't
again,
see it right now.
I'm going to hold off on
Yeah.
whatever because I don't believe that you can make a strong case, yay or nay.
So how is the next beer, Dave?
David's choking on his beer there.
Maybe we need a different beer. I don't know.
No, it's actually very good beer.
And that was was it the Dubliner?
The Dortmund.
Dortmund.
Yeah.
Close enough. No, it wasn't.
See,
Okay, I'm okay.
You're talking bad about Robin Lood, and now you're going to choke
Yeah.
on your beer. So let's get out of this game.
And I do want to say about the Colorado game because it was a game that I predicted 2-0. I think Twitter would show that otherwise. But I don't know how it didn't finish 2-0 or 3-0 or 3-1, 2-1. I think, and we mentioned it. It was but I mean, I think it was a moment it was kind of late in the game where Colorado nearly leveled this one up.
Yeah.
And it was I think there was some good, Para and actually helped out Manone right on the line on that one. But anyways, I was just, my notes, I'm surprised that this game ended 1-0. Minnesota deserved one or two more, and Colorado nearly scored one of their own. But nevertheless, it was another clean sheet for Vito Manone, which is his 9th of the year, his 8th at Allianz Field, and another. I love moments like this, and there's plenty of them when you're only in your 3rd MLS season. But Minnesota United set a new record for victories in a season with 12 victories.
Yes,
so that's just another, with 9 games to play at least at that point.
Well, it's nice to be talking about 12 victories now than trying to get to 11 victories in September.
Right, exactly. We still have what, 8 games left?
8 games after Orlando,
Yeah,
So-
and so it's big.
We beat the Rapids. I think we get in the second. Did we jump to second place? After
Yeah, we
that?
jumped to second.
did. Yep. Okay.
I would like to point out that I noticed Connor Casey drinks coffee on the bench.
He does?
They had it's this stupid. I pay attention to weird things. They had a shot of him, and here he is drinking a cup of coffee on the bench.
Oh.
I just don't. Seems a little highbrow.
I'd be drinking beer.
I would imagine coaches can't.
I'm sure they can. Yes.
But
Well, you don't know what's in that coffee mug either.
well, that's a good point.
That's right.
That's a good point.
Well, shit. I mean, back in the day, MLB and Major League Baseball, coaches used to smoke in the dugout. I mean,
They drink beer in the
yeah,
batting cage.
Batting cage, exactly. So we get the victory, and then we have last night's game against Orlando. Another game here. This game, I thought we were going to come out gangbusters and just kind of put the game in the beginning, kind of just load it up, score a goal or two, and just hang on. That's what we wanted to do. But of course, I didn't watch most. Well, I did. I was drinking. So
Tony, you watched pretty much the whole game. I was watching you watch it.
You just don't remember.
I just don't remember it. I don't remember going to bed last night. I don't, seriously. But yeah, it was one of those games where I think we needed the victory against an Eastern Conference foe who was they're fighting for a playoff spot.
Yes, and they were at 33 points coming into this one, just outside of the playoff line in 8th, but just outside. I think on goal differential. And make no mistake, Tony, you said how important it is, and Adrian Heath, he made it very clear that these two games, Colorado and Orlando, and regardless of whether this is an Eastern Conference opponent or not, they were very big games at home because I think Jerry Zadga Did I say that right?
Zagoda.
He pointed out that and I think we were talking about the schedule via text right after the game. The next home game is not until, I believe, mid-September.
Yes.
Yeah, September 15th.
September 15th.
We've got a while now.
So that's why he knew that these games were important, because if you can get, you got to get the majority of your points at home, and you go on the road for 4 straight games. I think is what it is. So it's going to be a tough slug.
And so now you guys